Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to some EVE Online and welcome back to CC, the test server for EVE Online, where in today's video I want to confirm basically that the tier 1 Abyssal sites are meant for Tech 1 cruisers. Tech 1 ships. I think you don't even need Tech 2 fittings, although probably a Tech 2 tank or something like that will help you along quite a little bit. But I'm gonna take this Vexor into a tier 1 site. I've done so before, and basically I did so in quite a humorous way by accident. I really regret not recording that run. Because I took this Vexor and actually forgot to put the drones in the Vexor. So the fit for this one is definitely meant to counter most of what you can encounter in those Abyssal pockets for a tier 1. So I actually have small railguns, small 150mm railgun 2s, so that they can track those small drones, also double web, to help with the targeting of those small drones. And it was quite a strange run because first of all there was a bug, and in the first room there was another player wreck, and that one dropped this baby. He actually had a medium Abyssal armor wrapper that's better than a regular Tech 2 armor wrapper, so I put this in on this Vexor as well. It basically has more HP in general. Maybe I can do, let's see here, I'll put this one here and then I'll take the Tech 2. So we can have a quick comparison. So you can do a show info and then a shift. Let's see, shift show info, I think is how it works. Yeah, there we go. We've got both of them open now. And then you can see that, god damn it, don't do that, that we have more activation costs. So it costs a bit more cap, but it's, oh no, there we go, 12 seconds to 11.54 seconds, so it's a bit faster and it reps a lot more HP. So that actually dropped from another player in his first room who somehow lost his cruiser in there. And then in the second room I was quite surprised because keep in mind I was running that one with only these 4 little guns there as my DPS. I encountered a drifter battleship, and because I was running a calm firestorm where you have 50% more armor, they also had armor. So I was like, man, am I gonna make it on time? I did, and then a chaotic tier 5 filament dropped there as well. It was a really strange run, but that basically did confirm for me that you can handle these tier 1 sites in tier 1 cruisers without too much trouble. So this time I brought some drones and we are going to run one just to confirm it with. But you can, especially at the moment, the way things are on CC, encounter some very interesting stuff when you want to test out these Abyssal dead space pockets. Also, another thing to keep in mind, of course, just from running a few, you see that I've got a lot of loot. That is not going to be representative. All of this is subject to change, and it has been confirmed that at the moment the loot is artificially inflated so that people have lots of stuff to play around with, and that stuff like this, opening a beacon right on top of a station, is enabled for easy testing on CC, but will probably not be possible on TQ. So there will be like a minimum distance, just like anchoring of structures has a minimum distance from any other object. It will be the same for using these filaments. So here we go. This time we're gonna do a calm gamma. The reason is a gamma is basically for shield ships. That way I don't have any bonuses running for this Vexor, and I think it would be a good representation. Let's also still move these drones into a separate folder. Warrior, and then the hubs too small, like that. Let's move a bit. Sometimes it thinks I'm invulnerable when I'm not, and I will use the calm gamma filament for a tier 1. I think I pressed activate. There we go. It sometimes takes a little bit of time to respond. This is CC after all. Let's get in there and let's see what we encounter. First thing you notice, 2 people in local. So let's give a hello. So that's quite interesting. And next up, it's really one of the nice ones with the purple star, and then the massive structures here. Really cool. Let's approach the Triglavian research facility, something that I actually had to ask where you get the loot from. It's from these research facilities. And then let's start targeting. It's really typical. This is the main enemy that I've encountered most in these pockets so far. It's small rogue drones. So we can actually slow down towards our loot target. And now you'll see here a double web if it wants to activate. Oh, that one is at 11. Alright, so now we'll be in range. There we go. And then we really are hitting them quite well with these 150mm railguns. And of course, having 5 small drones is going to help as well. So there we go. They do some damage, so you are going to need a little bit of time. I personally like the reactive armor hardener, just because you can encounter rogue drones, you can encounter drifters, and then the Triglavians themselves. This is going to help you basically get the best resistances depending on the enemies that you'll encounter. So I really think that it's a very cool mod to use in Abyssal Dead Space Pocket Fits. Let's move on to the next one here, and we can also target that Triglavian research facility, which is what you want to target if you want loot. And the one backdraw, this is not cap stable, so I do need to be a little careful with overusing my cap. But there we go, they are dying. And again, the bug, I don't have a timer here, very annoying, but I'm quite confident that we'll make it. And then one more small drone to take out. Blop, there it goes. Time to grab that research facility. Do a quick reload with some javelin. Nice short range. Those guys do come very close. And there you go, you actually have a wreck from the research facility with some mutaplasmids. Let's loot these guys, return the drones to the drone bay, and then we will go to the second room. Let's see what that's about. And the visuals are really amazing. Look at these enormous rocky structures there. Again, I could see myself land on these. That's really how this feels. This feels like, yeah, this is an asteroids belt. This is where asteroids are that you could start to mine for. Man, if they could bring these kinds of visuals, that would be really cool. Now here, interesting, I see one of those suppressors. So we are going to target them, but we are going to be a bit careful. Maybe I'll try to bait it with the hammerheads. Or is that something else? Let's see here. Interactable localized effect beacon. The effect is... No, that all looks okay. Let's just use the hops, but be ready to push them back if we need it. Bit of armor wrapping. Ah, so it's not one of those suppression modules apparently. It seems to be something else. Okay. First one down. We are taking a bit of damage, but it is quite manageable with an active tank. Again, we should really approach the research facility and then just keep going after all of these small rogue drones. But yeah, as you can imagine, I had to do this. I think I had small rogue drones, then the battleship, and then small rogue drones again. And I had to do it in the same ship without the drone damage support, which of course makes a huge difference at this point, and I still made it out in time. So as you can tell right here, yeah, Tech 1 cruiser with a Tech 2 fit, I would say, to feel comfortable, but then it's gonna be pretty easy to run these tier 1 sites. It's gonna be interesting to see if we can push these ships in tier 2 sites, for instance, of course. So we are slowly approaching that. More damage on the enemy, that's good. Their DPS is down, so we don't need to rep as actively anymore. Yeah, it's just a cap, maybe something with a stronger cap. I'm not sure if the other Galente cruiser has a stronger cap. That might be an option as well. But second site cleared in absolutely no time. We get a drop as well. I had an empty one too, so that can happen as well. Let's keep that in mind. Hops back in. And yeah, still 2 people in local, which apparently, and a calm firestorm is what we get back. Okay. Then we'll activate the gate, reload the javelins again, and we are ready to go. So this is also where you'll get your filaments from, including tier 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then of course the mutaplasmids for your gambles. Let's move on to the final pockets. Let's see what we encounter here. Yeah, it's small drones again. This is really, I mean, in my experience so far, the name of the game. That is what CCP, or what the RNGs from Abyssal Dead Space likes to throw at us. So we are going to go with the hubs again, of course. This time I'm not seeing anything else, and you really want to approach the research facility first, while they mostly miss me and move in pretty much a straight line, so they're an easy target for my drones. Blop, first one down. We'll let them choose their targets. Whip when we can, so that they are slowed down. Your guns have an easier time tracking. Bit of preemptive repping here, because we will take some damage. But blop, down goes the next one. Whip, whip, and guns. And yeah, when the tracking is good. So I like the fact that you can basically go a little bit overpowered with your hull. You can really use the small guns here. And if you're up against something bigger, the other enemies that I've encountered are a damaged drifter battleship or a rogue drone battleship, well, just break out your hammerheads and you're good to go on those as well. Again, let's go. We can actually speed up a little bit this time, I think, for the research facility. And yeah, this is looking quite good, although there are more impressive visuals. I've also seen pictures from, for instance, a tier 5. Those can really look quite ominous. So I'm curious. We'll see if we can work that out later. First of all, here, the facility. Blow that up. There's the loot. Return these guys to drone bay. We can do a quick reload. A bit more speed, thank you. I also think micro warp drive makes most sense. I've not encountered any scrams or anything like that. And this is of course something else that is going to drop as well. Blueprints for the Triglavian ships and weapon systems. Maybe some specific materials as well, although so far here, the way it's here, the requirements are purely minerals in order to produce these things. We'll see if that's the way it's going to be on TQ. I think there's a high chance that it is actually going to be different. And then that's the final gate out, which we take now. And there we go. I think pretty much confirmed with this that the tier 1 filaments are definitely accessible for alpha clones in Tech 1 cruisers. You're not gonna run into too much trouble for them. What the higher tiers will mean, that's for later. For now, thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you all next time.
Warp drive active.